prey on all over the country a phenomenon that really illustrates just how dire our straits are, the police arresting people that film them at city council meetings and on street corners. And one guy's facing life in prison. I've seen charges where it's 15 years, 20 years and thought it was bad. This guy's facing life in prison. And the article said 75, but actually I looked at the charges and other news reports life. It did, you know, he's 40-something, so they estimate, you know, he's 40, they estimate he'll die, so they're saying 75 on the life in prison. And they admit in the newscast, you know, the newscaster really believes, or maybe he's lying to people, but I think the guy looks like, you know, he's a mainline person, doesn't even know which end is up, that you don't film police. But the fact that the cops know the law, and they know that they're going and bamboozling the juries to send innocent people to prison, let me tell you, you're dealing with some real criminals. And this guy shouldn't just have the charges dropped. All the people that file them are criminals. They're criminals, they need to be brought to justice. Nothing worse than government oppressing people. You don't need me to tell you that humanity is in a deep crisis. Everyone can feel it. We know a tectonic struggle is now taking place between the forces of freedom and those who love darkness, bondage, and enslavement. Yes, my friends, evil is rising. But take heart, for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Recently, New World Order operative Hillary Clinton admitted they're losing the info war.
We are in an information war, and we are losing that war.
The globalists are scared. They've overreached. The future of the info war is in your hands. Join prisonplanet.tv. Download the thousands of special video reports, ebooks, and more, and get them out to everyone you know. Continue to spread the word about the broadcast on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and every other globalist propaganda platform. We are going to use their system against them. The info war now goes into high gear. But first, I want to get to our report today by Paul Joseph Watson that is also linked at drudgereport.com in the middle column. Man faces life in jail for recording police. Now, this article is so important that I, again, do not have words to describe it. So I hope that everyone is listening very, very carefully to me. Please listen to me. When you see an article like this, you automatically, even if you don't know the law, say, that sounds crazy. So then you read deeper. The man filmed police in public. And you know that there's no perception of privacy in public. That's how the government videotapes us with cameras. That's how the police have squad car cameras. That's how most police wear microphones or even small cameras on their ties or on their shirt. Is it wiretapping when they come up to you? Is it wiretapping when you're at the beach and shoot some video that's recording audio of people walking down the beach? No, you're in a public place. When you see tourists videotaping down a street, do you run over and say, I'm calling the police? You're wiretapping? No. The answer is no. And I've read these wiretapping statutes in the 12 states where they are arresting and convicting people. In most cases, it gets thrown out or it gets thrown out on appeal. But the point is, they are convicting people when it's not a wiretapping statute. The statute is in a private place recording someone without their consent. And normally it's mafia-run areas like Connecticut, New York, Illinois, where they do not want people to be able to tape them. They don't want to be caught in all of their corruption. Now, from Maryland to Illinois, all over the place, every day now, I see articles where people are being arrested. I saw a case in Maryland where the guy's 200 yards away, police are beating people. The police march over, beat him, and take him to jail and charge him, and he was facing felony wiretapping. Now, it got thrown out of court later, but the point is they were trying to put that guy in jail. I see cases now where people have surveillance on their own business or home. Cops come for whatever reason, you go to jail because you have a camera. I've seen cases where citizens videotape other citizens, in one case, in a town where the police give citizens radar guns. They videotaped that. The cops came on the people's property and arrested them for wiretapping. So I know you've seen it in your newspaper. It's happening in 12 states. And those 12 states have very evil police. Does that mean all of them are evil? No. But the prosecutors, the bosses, the police chiefs are extremely evil. It is beyond Soviet tyranny. In the Soviet Union, if you were somebody caught with a camera or something, just in general public, most people were allowed to have cameras, and you were videotaping something, they might take it away. Same thing in other third world countries. I know American tourists that we've interviewed that have been to North Korea and are allowed to videotape certain areas, but they've been caught in areas they're not supposed to be. They just take it away. In America, you videotape police in public. In fact, in some of these cases that this newscast covers, at city council meetings, and the cops beat somebody up and then turn, in one of these reports, to 3 people taping them and arrested all of them and charged them with felony wiretapping. You're in a city council public building, cameras all around. It's on local television, local cable. In this particular case we've got here, and the cops arrest 3 people. I mean, these people, this is worse than North Korea, okay? Now, what's incredible is they go and actually throw the book at people, go to these kept moron juries, have the judge tell them, yes, the statute says this. Well, the statute goes on to say, but not in public if there's a perception. There's no perception of privacy. They just ignore that and say, this is wiretapping, illegal wiretapping, and some people are being convicted. I found some cases, I wrote part of this with Watson, and he says in here, they've thrown out all the charges. Well, in the cases he found, I've seen cases, we're going to have those added, where you do go to jail. If you're a poor person, don't know your rights, and you don't know how you get convicted to appeal it, it's over. You're going to jail. And see, the cops don't care if this is getting thrown out in these 12 states over and over again, in most cases. And then poor people that can't defend themselves are actually going to jail. They don't care. It is a brazen, cold-blooded attack on the First Amendment and free speech to chill it to the bone. I see cases now every few days, specifically with people being arrested when a cop comes up to their car, their wife starts videotaping it on an iPhone or Droid, and the cop says, what are you doing videotaping me? And they say, well, we're just taping this encounter. And one of the tapes, he said, that's it, you're anti-law enforcement. See, in his crazy mind, well, you don't like me because you're taping this, I'm going to go ahead and get you out, put you in handcuffs, and he takes the guy's wife to jail. You've seen these cases on the news. I mean, this is cuckoo crazy. But then it's not a rogue cop. He gets them down to the department, it goes to the prosecutor, you get released from jail, and then you end up going to trial. Remember Lyon County, Kentucky. Kelly Rushing. Kelly Rushing. This is now 7 years ago, 6.5 years ago. I got calls from listeners going, hey, I've been arrested. I was handing out your videos to state police. And well, what was on the tape? Well, a Ron Paul speech called Neocon, and then your film Road to Tyranny, and they've charged me for both the Ron Paul speech and you. And I was like, send me some proof. Well, about a week later, comes in the mail, the Lyon County newspaper. I showed it on air, somewhere around here. And they were with a straight face, Kelly Rushing. And it turned out, great family, there for over 100 years, well-known, business owners. He was just like, hello, officer, I'd like to give you this video about what's happening in America. The cop, a couple days later, comes and arrests him and laughs at him and calls his wife and says, I got the VHS Bandit. It was VHS tape, still around then. And then I still couldn't believe it. I called the judge. And I said, are you Judge such and such? He goes, yes, you're calling me at home. I said, oh, he goes, yeah. He was a Southern gentleman, but obviously a tyrant. And I said, are you really about to have a trial for handing videos out? He goes, well, I can't talk about it, but yes, it's next week. And they went in and put on a whole 2-day trial, had a jury there, and they said no to both counts of threatening police. And the cop got on the thing and said, I find this video threatening. I mean, this guy looked at Kelly Rushing like he wasn't even a human. A nice, friendly guy pulling up to police and others going, hello, officer, I want you to know about how we can save America. And these guys watch videos that freak them out because the truth hurts, and they go and arrest him and have a trial. Now, that's my issue here, is that they're taking children and arresting parents for spanking them every day in this country when there's no law against spanking children. Check it out. They're taking children every day for not inoculating children when there's no law. You ask, how do they do that? They've got juries, ladies and gentlemen, that will do whatever they're told in many areas. And they've got family courts set up as racial hygiene eugenics courts about 95 years ago, give or take, who would order sterilization. It's just a judge. They're not real courts. That's where we get family courts. They didn't exist before. You had a real jury. You had to have proof of something. That's how they're doing this. And it's a lawless criminal government. But I want to say something to police officers before I come back and play this clip and then go to your calls. Listen, the Bill of Rights and Constitution is there to protect you just like us. And the fact is, it was just a few months ago, 9 states doing this. Now it's 12 states doing it. And that's in the newscast coming up. Play part of it. The whole thing's at Infowars.com. Local NBC affiliate there in the area where this happened in Illinois. But imagine this guy is facing life in prison, and the prosecutor is running around in the news saying, yes, we're going to put him in jail for life, and feels good about that. Man, even if you're a soulless monster, I don't know if you are, but it sounds like it. Do you want that bad luck? I mean, you reap what you sow. I'm God-fearing, folks. You may not believe in God, but I've seen a lot in my life. Let me tell you, when you do bad, it comes back on you. I mean, I don't know how a prosecutor could sit there in some well-known businessman, 41-year-old, no criminal record, nice, clean-cut guy, videotapes police, and they're trying to put him in jail for life. I mean, that's immoral on so many fronts. And then I read where the average sentence for a murderer is something like 14 years and they serve 7. But you know they're going to keep him in there for decades. And this poor guy doesn't even know his rights, and he's like, well, I guess I'm going to be going to prison for life. I don't see how in America they do this, but I didn't know it was a law. Just the people perish for lack of knowledge. It isn't the law. Why do you think in 38 states the police know, yes, it's your right to videotape, just don't interfere in police activity, stay back 20 feet. Cop can say that all day long. But you can't just, well, what's your wife doing taping me? You're going to jail, lady. And then you get there, and the prosecutor's like, absolutely, let's send him to prison. Folks, this is the essence of tyranny. If police in 12 states will do this, God help us, even when they know it's being thrown out in most cases.
Everything we said came true. Everything we've done has been right.